Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for joining me once again for tea time. Today we have a little fireside, that smoky tea that I absolutely love in the morning. Have to try some of these out, Dark Moon Teas. Go over to darkmoonteas.com, check them out, or you can go over to my website, JCristina.com. Good stuff. You asked me for it, and it's here. So today, got a lot to talk about. It's kind of like a security type of day. We're going to be talking a little bit about Apple and Google and them coming up with this whole notification process. Let's call it contact tracing. And that didn't really work out. The nomenclature was really not great. People didn't like the whole idea of contact tracing. So exposure notification is what it is called, and it is being loaded into all of our phones. Now that we have the iOS 13.5 out, this API is being installed in it automatically. And I want to go through it a little bit with you and take a look at some of the security issues that could arise and the positives and the negatives and who's actually using it or who will use it as of right now. I think May 20th we have data of, and this type of thing. I want to go through it a little bit, not getting into any kind of conspiracy theory here, but when this is all said and done, at the end of this video, I want you to give me your thoughts on it. I'm putting it out as I always do to you, giving you my information. Some of my information might be wrong. That's why you guys are smarter than me. And in the comment area, you're going to tell me where I got it wrong and where I got it right. So before I get into it, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded my ebook over at JCristina.com/ebook as of yet, go download it. 10 tips at making sharper images. Something perfect, something great, something wonderful for amateurs as well as professionals. You're going to get something out of it. Once again, it's JCristina.com/ebook. Go pick it up. It is free. How can you beat free, right guys? Free is free. Go download it. Anyways, let's get right into it. Now, what I did was I downloaded the latest 13.5 onto my phone, and I want to show you what goes into it as far as downloading it, installing it, and then what you need to know as far as turning it off, or do you need to turn this feature off? What is it all about? So let's get right into it. So the install took a while. It was about a gig to download, 900 and some megabytes. So once it's installed, what you want to do is you want to go into settings, and then from settings, you want to click on privacy, and then from privacy, go all the way down to where it says health. Click on health, and this is the location where you're going to want to be in the future to either turn this on or leave it off. As you can see right now, it is off. It says COVID-19 exposure logging off. Now, if I click on it, you can see here it gives us some information about it. It says you cannot turn on exposure logging without an authorized app installed that can send exposure notification. When enabled, an iPhone can exchange random IDs with other devices using Bluetooth. The random IDs your device collects are stored in an exposure log for 14 days. This exposure log allows an app you authorize to notify you if you have been exposed to COVID-19. If you are diagnosed with COVID-19, you can choose to share your own device random ID with the authorized app so it can notify others anonymously. So, once again, this is like an opt-in thing. It's turned off generically. It's turned off as soon as you install it, and you have to turn it on. And even once you turn it on, once it starts collecting this data, and you are found to have COVID-19, you have to authorize it to tell the application to notify everyone that you have it so that they can now take precaution, let's say. Well, that's the whole gist behind it. Now, does it work that way? I don't know. Will it work that way? I don't know. Do we trust it? I don't know. But let's get into it and kind of look at it and what they say it will do and what it doesn't do. It says that the contact tracing data is only stored on the user device. It says the contact tracing data is only processed on the user's device. In other words, it's not sending our data out for processing. It's keeping the information in-house, so to speak. And then Apple or Google's API is acting as that platform to send that data encrypted now off to that third party. And that third party is your local health authority, let's say. and there's not going to be one authority that is nationwide. Supposedly, this is going to be broken down locally. So some locales are going to want this, some are not, but that's how it's going to go. This information is going to be sent out to your local health authority. So I guess that kind of dissipates the risk a little bit in their mind's eye. Instead of having one main authority that takes care of everything, they're allowing all of the different municipalities, the different locales to do their own thing and use the data as they see fit. Now, that, as we know, when it comes to county by county, city by city, state by state, things get screwy, right? And some states just do some crazy ass crap, and other states you think are more in line with your mental, and that's probably why you're living there. But when you have so many chefs in the kitchen, things can go just astray really quickly. One state is saying, yes, we will do this. The other state will say, no, we're not doing that. One state says we're going to use all of the data. One says we're only going to use X data. One says we're going to throw away locational information. The other one says we're going to keep locational information. How is it going to work? I really don't know. And do we want to trust all of these people with the data, or do we want to just centralize it into one federal hub? That is one of the questions for you guys, all right? Now, just so you know, I wanted to kind of bring it back to South Korea and China. Now, they've been doing this, and they've been using features like this for quite some time. Now, I was reading some articles on South Korea and how they were already implementing this type of information or this type of app on everyone's phone. And what was really disheartening is the way they use it. Now, it was said that the South Korean authorities were sending out text messages to everyone and notifying them of people that had COVID-19 in their location. So on their app, if they got close to someone that had COVID-19, it would say, oh, that guy has COVID-19, back away. Now, what was also said is they were using this app to quarantine people, to say, listen, it is time for you to stay at home for one reason or another. Maybe you're in a certain location or a certain city, certain province, or you visit a certain area, whatever. It's telling you you need to quarantine. Now, two of the major apps that are used over there in Asia are WeChat and Alipay. And these have a feature built in to color code people. So if you have a phone that is, let's say, glowing green, you know that you're okay and you could wander around at will. Well, if that phone turned up as yellow or maybe orange, now all of a sudden it's saying that you need to self-quarantine. You need to get home and you need to stay there for 14 days or whatever the case might be. Well, that's all good and all, but it gets even worse than that. Now, let's say if your phone turns red, that might mean now you are ordered to report to a government-run facility for treatment and for quarantining. All right? And if you do not report with that red phone to that government-run facility for treatment and to be quarantined, you could just be arrested. They'll show up at your door. Why? Because they have your locational information within like 3 feet, right? From your phone. I mean, it's always with you, right? Really kind of scary. Really kind of scary to me. Now, will they do that here in the U.S.? Will the U.S. citizens allow such treatment, let's say, governmental heavy-handedness, if that's a word? Definitely not. Definitely not. You hear me? We don't know. We really don't know. Keep this in mind, guys. Governments never take freedoms away from their people. They make it so people happily give their freedoms to the government. We will help you. You just need to give away some of your freedom. Right? That's how they do it. It's been like that since the beginning of time. Okay? They allow you to give up your freedom happily so that they can protect you. Keep that in mind. All right? Now, how does this data work? Now, I am like this admin guy. I am like a Unix dude for a long time. So I just want to tell you how I think that this is going to work. I think this is going to work very similar. Now, this is in the US. Very similar to how encryption works with like SSL certificates. So when you go to a website and the website says HTTPS and not HTTP, that S says that it's secure. That means that your connection to that website is secure. It's encrypted so that any data that you share is not being sent via just open text. It is encrypted so that people do not know what is going on between you and that specific site. I think that's the same type of thing that's going to be going on with this API. Now, what is an API and what is this that Google and Apple have built? They've basically built a CA, a certificate authority. The authority is that platform, that layer that authenticates or fingerprints one party to the other party, so that we know that John Doe is John Doe. And the certificate authority knows that this is John Doe by their fingerprint, digital fingerprint, okay? Something like that, right, guys? And then passes that data over to the next party. Well, that's the way I see that this is going to be going on. They call it like IDs and whatnot. Yes, that's probably what it is. Just think of it as a public key and a private key. You hold your private key, but the public key is public, all right? And that is the data that's being encrypted with that public key. And then later on, it's being decrypted after the fact when the third party receives it. Now, the third party is going to be your local health authority. They're going to be able to decrypt this information, okay? And now they have the information. Now, the thing is that Apple and Google is saying we as that layer, as that CA, we're only going to do the authentication and encryption, period. The third party is going to do the decryption and we're not going to know anything about that data, keeping us out of the loop. Apple loves doing that. They don't want to know nothing. You want to go hack our phone, you go hack it. We're not going to hack in for you. I don't care if you're CIA, FBI, I don't care who you are. We're not going to hack into our own phone. All right? Doesn't matter if they blew stuff up or if they didn't. They don't even care. Okay? If you want to do it, you go ahead and do it. That's the way they've always done it. Now, in the past, there was always a problem with circumventing this system. How did they do it? They did it with a middleman. It was a middle computer, let's say. So what would happen is you have John Doe, you have your CA, your certificate authority, and you have your third party. Well, what would happen is someone would come in between John Doe and the CA, and they would take the information, and then instead of modifying the information, they would pass it along to the CA. So now the CA would think this third party, this middleman, was John Doe, when they're really not. And John Doe is none the wiser because everything is going through perfectly. Now, is that as possible today with today's encryption? Not really. But can it happen? Yes, because there's a lot of smart people out there. Okay. So what will happen at that point, if that was to happen, that person can just, that third party, that middleman could skim your data, right? And not even change it so no one is the wiser. And now they have all that information clean, clear, without any type of encryption at that point, okay? So anyways, those are some things that can possibly happen, but will it? We don't know. Now, who exactly is using this or who will be using it? As of May 20th, what I find very strange is out of the 50 states, there's 4 that says we're going to absolutely use it. And that is Alabama, North Dakota, South Carolina, as well as Virginia. When we look at these numbers, guys. Alabama is showing 14,000 cases, North Dakota with 2,000 cases, South Carolina with 10,000, Virginia with 36,000. Now, some of the ones that said we are not going to implement this exposure notification thing in our state. Remember, this is a state-by-state type of thing. We are not. That is California with 91,000 cases, Michigan with 54,000, Ohio with 31,000, and Pennsylvania with 68,000. These ones that have big, large populace of infected are saying already, we're not going to do it. Interesting, right? We have New York City with, I think it's just over 200,000 cases. They're, as of right now, no comment. We don't know if they're going to bring this on or not. A lot of it has to do with the perception of security and how much of our possible security are we going to give away to the government, all right, or to this third party, to the CA, to that certificate authority, to Google, to Apple, all All right. How much of our freedom are we going to give away? And this is where it's going to be a real big thing when it comes to city by city, county by county, state by state. These local health authorities are going to decide if they're going to implement it or they're not. And they're also going to decide what is a positive and what is a negative. What we are going to deem as being a flag for us to change the phone into yellow, let's say, or change the phone to orange or change the phone to red. What is going to be that time? Now, right now we have a base time of 5 minutes. So if you're with someone that had COVID-19 in the last 14 days and you were with them for 5 minutes, you're going to flag as positive, all right? As needing to be warned. Might say, hey, you just need to quarantine for 14 days. Or if in your city there's a lot of tests that are available, it'll say, hey, you need to go to this facility to have a test done. Or if you do not have a lot of tests in your specific city, it says, hey, maybe you need to quarantine, like I said, 14 days and do nothing else and then report back if you end up getting it or not. So we can let everyone else know that have your specific key. Remember those keys that are constantly being handed out. So that is a possibility. But the question always is, what is positive? What is negative? When should people be quarantined and when should they not be quarantined? As of right now, there's no specific guidelines to that. And they're saying the local health authorities are going to make this decision instead of that one federal body. And that goes back to the idea of having a lot of chefs in the kitchen. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's overreaching? Who's underreaching? Who? Like an owl, right? Who do you trust? So guys, do I think that we're going to end up like South Korea or China where we have a phone that pops up green, pops up yellow, orange, or maybe red, telling you that you need to go and check yourself into a state-run facility for treatment and for quarantining? Probably not, because like I said, the US citizens of this country will not accept that. They will only give away a certain amount of their rights. They will only give away a certain amount of their freedoms. And like I've said, and I said before, remember, the governments do not take our freedoms. We give our freedoms to the government happily. For, in most cases, protection, safety, okay? If a government can say, you give me your location and I will protect you, you're giving the right to your specific location, but you're going to be protected, a lot of people will say, protect me, okay? Once again, we give away our rights. They are not taken. That's my personal opinion. All right. So I want to know what you think. Do you think this contact tracing, or now it's called exposure notification, that we see in Google as well as Apple's platform, that API, do you think that this is something that you're going to turn on? If you do turn it on, why are you turning it on? Okay. If you do not turn it on, why are you not turning it on? Also, would you rather have one federal body that's determining, for example, how many feet apart, 2 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet, or possibly how many minutes of exposure? 5 minutes of exposure to someone with COVID, 10 minute, 15 minute? What deems the alert? What determines your ranking of yellow or orange or red, for example, with my previous example with South Korea and China, all right? What does that? Would you rather have that centralized body, or would you rather have all of the states doing their own thing and coming up with different times, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, 3 feet or 6 feet, 6 feet or 10 feet? So these are a couple of questions for you. You saw me install the latest 13.5 on my phone. You saw how you don't really need to do anything to turn this off because it is automatically off as of now. And also it will not be able to be turned on until one of your health authorities upload an application that can be used with this specific API, with this exposure notification. All right. So there's nothing that you need to do, but when there is something you need to do, and this is turned on, you know where to go to be able to turn it off in your settings, which is very, very important. So Anyways, guys, I hope you got something out of this. It was kind of fun going through all of this information, and in some ways it's a little bit scary. But in other ways, I have to say that knowing what's going on or having a little bit better of an understanding gives you a little bit less anxiety, and you understand that as of right now, we don't have to worry about being tracked. Now, is that going to be the case in the future? I don't know, but it's something that just knowledge is power. We just need to remain in the know, so to speak. And as always, if I got something wrong here, please let me know. I'm not one of those people that say that I'm an expert and just everything that I say is just second to godly. It's not, all right? I get things wrong a lot, and I want you guys to tell me where I got it wrong. And if I got it right, tell me I got it right too. In the comment area below this video, let's have the discussion. Let's talk about it a little bit. I really want to know your thoughts. I want to know where you stand on all of this. So guys, as I said before, go download my ebook over at JCristina.com. That would be awesome. So you can grab those 10 tips for making sharper images for amateurs and professionals. Grab that. Also, join us in our community, our Discord community, over at community.JCristina.com. Once again, community.JCristina.com. Join us over there. Once we're done having a discussion in YouTube, head over to the Discord. Become a member. There's a ton of smart people over there, unbelievably smart people. Head over there and join our community. So if you've gotten some value out of this video, please throw it a big thumbs up. That helps the channel out immensely. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can get all my content when it becomes available, and click the bell icon somewhere right around here. So when it is available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. And don't forget to use coupon code YT20. Anyone that subscribed to the channel, you're listening to this right now, you made it to the end of this nonsense, use coupon code or promo code YT20 at checkout, and you'll get 20% off everything in my store over at JCristina.com. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for the end of the vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.